Most people come into crypto and they have no idea what to do. They just see green numbers, they hear stories of 100x. They think that just by throwing money around, they can land themselves in the opportunity of a lifetime because their buddy's buddy did it and, well, they heard about it a lot on Twitter. The reality of crypto is that there are dire mistakes that everybody makes here, and the hope of this episode is that I can prevent some of you. I know I can't do it for all of you, but at least for some of you, I hope I can prevent you from making these horrible mistakes that will leave you wrecked. First of all, this is the number one mistake you could do, which is failing to do your own research. DYOR isn't just a motto, it's not just a rule. DYOR is a lifestyle. So just because you hear about something on Twitter, just because you hear about something on YouTube, just because you hear about something from someone that is someone you know, someone you might even trust in the industry, the reality is if you don't do your own research on it, then you are failing to do the rule number one that will prevent you from getting wrecked. Now, here is a general guideline, not a law, because the reality is that really good tokens can pump and pump and pump some more. If there is a huge amount of momentum behind a project, or they're in a niche, or they have a massive product coming up, or there's just something really big on the horizon, then something can continue to pump ad nauseum. And so this is more of a general guideline that you shouldn't be buying something just because it pumped. The main takeaway of this rule is that you in general want to buy the red and sell the green. Now, micro caps are the magic of crypto because they go 1000x gains. However, micro caps are also the ones that die and go to zero and you can never get your money out. You should only be risking a small amount of your portfolio in these types of assets, or at least that's my strategy, is that anything under $100 million is a micro cap. Everything from 100 million to $1 billion is essentially a small to mid cap, and everything over $1 billion is a large cap, and then of course you have the majors. The micros have the potential to give astronomical gains, but they also come with a significant set of consequences in that as soon as Bitcoin starts dipping or the bull market momentum fades, those will crumble to the tune of 90%, 95% or more. So you need to know how risky the play is. Now, finally, selling your entire position or buying your entire position is this new rule. The reality is that most amazing moves in crypto happen in layers. You want to layer into things and layer out. And this is because it's impossible to time the market. Nobody knows when the ultimate top will be, and nobody knows when the ultimate bottom will be. So layering in buys as you get lower and layering out sells as you get higher, knowing that you want to keep a little bit of those coins just in case there's another leg up in this bull run. You never know. ETH could go hit 10K. A lot of people will be selling there, but then it might just rocket right up to 20K, kind of like Bitcoin did in 2017. So for all the people who sold their entire positions at 10K, they would have missed that clean double up to 20K. And that stuff does and continues to happen. So understanding that you should be thinking incrementally, I'm going to sell a certain percent at certain levels and keep laddering up and laddering down, essentially laddering your buys down and laddering your sells up. That is the way to think about this. Essentially hitting a one-click sell on everything or a one-click buy on everything is a very Neanderthal way to go about buying and selling crypto. It usually leaves you without getting the best results. If you're able to avoid horrible mistakes, chances are over the long haul, you'll have an amazing experience here in crypto land. Today, we're going to be talking about the macro bullish catalyst for Bitcoin here in Q4 over the next few months. And I believe it's going to set off a chain reaction of events for the entire market. And that, of course, gives massive opportunities to absolutely everyone. This is just getting started. This bull run is really going to hit another leg because we've just had a massive fundamental catalyst. We have the price inflation jumping 8.6% in October, matching the largest year-over-year increase on record. So inflation, despite the fact that there is some talks around tapering, inflation is very real. And this is, in my opinion, not a real judge of inflation. If we look at property prices, you look at the prices of things that you desperately need for your life, property, food, these types of things, education, inflation is going crazy. And what we really know is that the money supply is getting weaker and weaker. And this is as we've just had the approval of over $1 trillion in spending for the new infrastructure bill. So what we know for sure is that the macro landscape for Bitcoin is absolutely ridiculously good. Does that mean that it guarantees that Bitcoin will immediately jump up in price? No. What you need to understand is that a combination of on-chain metrics, external macro analysis, as well as just downright good old-fashioned FOMO are going to be the things that propel Bitcoin to new highs. However, if you've been following the story that we've been telling here, pointing to amazing, on-chain metrics analysts like Willy Woo, and specifically my new favorite, or has been my favorite, which is Will Clemente, who really just distill how important the dwindling supply of Bitcoin on exchanges is to the macro bull structure of the market. The less Bitcoin on exchanges, the more Bitcoin into whale wallets or diamond-handed wallets, whatever you want to call them. That is the force that is making this particular moment so powerful. The on-chain story being told just continually gets more and more bullish. And that's what's so exciting here. But it's also worth understanding that this late stage of the bull run might very well be a sort of quick, fast, dirty, big pump with a blow off top. If we keep grinding up $1,000 at a time over the course of the next 4 or 5 months, and we get to 100K at the end of December and then 120 by the end of February, or something like that, that would be fine, right? That would be totally fine. And it feels quite, I guess, sustainable, right? That trend. If we go from 60K to 120K within a week, not fine, not sustainable, and probably time for you to really understand that we're in the final act of this bull run. Most of the audience needs more than just generic hints and strategies. So today we're going to be giving you a list of projects that I have invested into or plan to invest into in the next few weeks. And these are all gaming and metaverse projects. Now, a core thesis of this channel is that gaming is taking over the internet and that crypto will take over gaming. Thus, the crypto gaming sector is one of the biggest potential gainers over the next several years. So you know about Sandbox, it's the closest thing to a real metaverse we have. We also have Decentraland, but Sandbox to me is the one that is going to hit more of a broad audience because it's really a controlled and curated digital experience. It's more like a game than a metaverse right now, even though you can own land and do all these things. I'm a big fan of the team over there at Sandbox. As you can see, they've had a massive jump in price since the metaverse train really hit because of Facebook. The reality is that this one's already at very high prices. So just understand, just a few weeks ago, it was at 73 cents. Now it's at, a couple of bucks. Understand there could be some retraces here, but in the end, Sandbox is one of those where if the market crashes pretty hard, this is one that I think is definitely going to have a nice recovery. Next, we have Sidus here, and Sidus is actually a really interesting project. I met with the team, and their whole focus on Sidus is creating browser game experiences that are as high fidelity as like Unreal Engine game experiences. And they were talking to me a lot about not only do they have like hundreds of people working on this project, which is actually crazy to hear, but they actually have been focused a lot on the technology of having browser experiences be super high quality with the goal of reaching, places that might not have the newest devices and tech and tablets. So this is a very interesting thing because if they accomplish this and they have a sort of leading browser experience that can allow for emerging nations to really access and play the games, this could be a real sleeper here. They're in pre-release phase, so they will have an IDO. Again, if you don't get in, these things can probably overpump. So the way to play this one is probably to wait for a massive dip after release and then get in at that point. Next, we have bigtime.gg. This one also doesn't have a token yet. I'm meeting with the team pretty soon to get a more in-depth analysis, but I know Becker really likes this one, and it does kind of feel like their art is a little unique. They went for this sort of shader approach to their art, and it does look like the gameplay is a little bit of a cut above the others. Again, I haven't played it myself, but this one's on my list of something I'm sizing up to potentially invest into in the near future, depending on what options are available. Next, we have Phantom Galaxies. This is one that is actually part of the Animoca family, so I've been talking with Animoca a lot about this one. You can actually get a free NFT just for connecting your wallet to the phantomgalaxies.com website. So this is a little bit of an alpha leak here that they're gonna have a free NFT drop to anyone who connects their wallets. I actually went and connected all my wallets to this, so I would get one each one of my wallets. A little cheeky, but you guys could probably do the same. And then what is kind of interesting here is, again, it's kind of like a mecha space game here. I'm looking into investing into this one, and and potentially advising it as well. And finally, Immutable X is something worth looking at here. This is one, of course, that is still on its early sort of FOMO wave from IDO. As you can see, it hit like a $10 billion fully diluted. I happen to be working with the Immutable X team, and I have some visibility into some of the partnerships they have coming up. And you know, the TikTok thing is very emblematic of what they have going on. These guys launched the TikTok NFTs. They're a scalable layer 2 built on ZK rollups here in the crypto space. And so essentially they allow you to have Ethereum-based NFTs with no gas fees. There's a lot of potential blue chip stuff coming through Immutable X, and of course big projects like TikTok. So keep your eyes on Immutable X. Again, I would let this thing settle out still because it's still coming off of this sort of FOMO wave and kind of bouncing around. Who knows where this could go? It's already quite expensive, but keep your eye on it. If there's a dip, that might be a good chance to load up, as I do believe that there will be more and more projects that continue to choose Immutable X as their base layer for NFTs.